we're now going to consider the most difficult kind of index and match. And as we said, with index we can actually take a result from a table that has both rows and columns. So for instance, if we have trees, and they are listed here, and we for instance are interested in a price for a tree called walnut, and then we have diameters for those trees, and let's say our walnut has the diameter of 12 and 5, it's not 10, it's not 15, it's past, previous is going back. And for this walnut of 12, actually the correct price is going to be 720. So the name of the tree sets the row number, the diameter of the tree sets the column number, and then index gets the price. So this is the most difficult kind of index and match. And now let's write out walnut 12, and let's be sure not to make a error while typing this. And now what we need to do is take this 720. The block names are, this is tree table, this is diameter, and let's start by writing it out. And now this, at first let's write it out in many formulas. So at first let's match walnut from this block and get to know that it's the third row. And let's write equals match, parentheses begin, we're matching B15, which is walnut, from the block that's called tree. And now we have to think, is it 0 or 1? The names of the tree are there exactly, so it's a 0. And we enter it, and the third row is the result. Now let's match the diameter 12, and actually we haven't explicitly said it, but we can also match from many columns. So 5 is not 12, 10 is not 12, 15 is past 12, previous one back, second column is the result. So we can also match it like this. Let's write it. Equals match, parentheses begin, we match 12, which is C15, from the block that's called diameter. And now we have to think, is it a 0 or 1? It's naturally a 1 in exact lookup, and we close it and get the second column. So third row, second column is the price. And now these two matches give us the third row and the second column, and now we use index for taking out the result. It goes like this, equals index, the table is called tree table, semicolon, and now comes the row number, which is in D15, semicolon, and now comes the column number, which is in E15. So if we need to take something from the table with both row and column number, we need to write the row number first, and here it is, the result, 720 is ours. Okay, now this time we wrote match, index in 3 separate formulas. Let's try to do it by writing it all together in one formula. So far we have written match before because we want to know from which row we get it. But since there are two matches now, we're going to write it in a different sequence. We write it with index first. So let's again write index equals index parenthesis begin. We're taking the results from tree table, so let's write tree table as the results, are the results being taken from, semicolon. Now we want to see from which row we take the results from, and the row will be given us when we match the word walnut from the block tree. So the word walnut from the block tree, we match it, and then we get the row number. So we write match, parenthesis, B15, semicolon, we match walnut from block tree, semicolon, 0 for exact matching, and this gives us the third row, and all this match is within index. And now we have to continue for the column number, so we write semicolon, and now we write another match which matches for the column number. We use 12, we match it from diameter block, and it gives us the second column, so we write match, parenthesis begin, C15, semicolon, diameter block, semicolon, and now this is the inexact lookup, which is 1, and here it is. The first match gives us 3, the second match gives us 2, the index gives us the third row, the second column, and we get 720 nicely. So this is the most difficult kind of index and match. And let us now consider one more exercise that does exactly the same thing. So here is a table which considers office supplies. In the left column we have inventory number, which is where the sales was made. Now next up is the date on which the sales was made. Then the sales was made in Canada, so there are 3 regions to consider: Ontario, Quebec and Alberta. The sales was made by a certain salesman whose name is in the 4th column. The broad category of the item sold is in the 5th column, for instance binder. Then comes the description, the more specific description of the item, like 1 inch reinforced. Then comes the cost of it, how many were sold, and the multiplication of the cost in units, which is the total value of the sales. And now we want to know who was the manager when the sale was made. So here on the next sheet we have a table of those sales managers. They depend on the region in which the sales were made. Once again, there are 3 regions: Ontario, Quebec and Alberta. And the sales were made on different dates. And actually in Ontario, from the 1st of July, the sales manager, the manager in charge of the sales, is Johnson. From 17th July onwards it's Diane, and from the 1st of August it's Jackson. And now, for instance, in Alberta, we have the 1st July for Thames, from the 17th of July it's McGivens, and from the 1st of August it's Devon, and so forth. Let's actually take this table and copy it to the previous page. It's a little narrow, so let's make it a bit wider, and let's give some names. For starters, the table with the sales manager names is going to be called manager table. This block is going to be called region. This block is going to be called date. And now not everything fits in the screen, so we can hide some columns. Let's click from J to H, and let's right click and choose hide. And now it should fit. And we're interested in, for instance, we're interested now in the middle. We have some hidden columns, and we're interested in, let's say, the 21st row. Who was the sales manager in Alberta on the 19th of July? And Alberta is this 3rd row, and 19th of July is not the 1st, is not the 17th. 1st of August is after it. The previous will be given back, and here it is. McGivens is the one who is the sales manager at this time in Alberta. So let's try to write this formula all at once, and we write the first index. So with index we're going to take it from the big table. Let's drag the table. It's the somehow the name isn't given in here, so I think the name was given in the wrong way. Let's try to give it again. So it's manager table. Okay, perhaps we didn't press enter. So with index we take it from manager table, and now we need to know the third row, which we get when we match Alberta from regions. So we take Alberta and match it from regions, and we get that it's the third row where the answer is. So match parenthesis D21 from block called region with 0 exact matchup, because Alberta has to be exactly found. Okay, and it gives us a third row. Now we need to get to know the second column, because 19th of July is over, but it's the 1st of August, so the previous row is returned, and it's the second column, and Matt Givens should be the answer. So we write another match in here. We're matching C21, the 19th of July, from block called date, and this is again inexact match. So we close a few parentheses, and this index goes to the third row, goes to the second column, and gives us Matt Givens. And here we have this most complex kind of index and match. And now we can actually copy it in a neat way. You see, when we select the cell and double click on the right lower corner, it actually copies it automatically. Of course, up we need to still copy this, but another trick for working with Microsoft Excel. And now we can unhide these columns, and here it is. We have correctly gotten all the sales managers.